What up, brothers and sisters? It's your brother G World 7_D. I want to go back and get another map, so I have to dig through my encyclopedia set and get the map of the United States. And I was going to talk about the river channels like I did before, but that one was in black and white. But here's the river channels. You may can see a little bit better. I wish I had larger. But right here is the Mississippi, right over in here. Here's the Mississippi River right here. It's like my hand is on right here. This is the Mississippi River. Okay. The Mississippi River. Here's the Mississippi River channel. The river channel. So they were able to travel here, and they built their monuments and mounds right off the coast of waters. All right. East St. Louis is around this area, and there's St. Louis. All right. Cahokia is around East St. Louis. You see, there's a trend here. Then you got the Mississippi River. Let's see if I can find Ohio River. Okay, here's I want to say this may be the Ohio River right over here. My hand is. This stuff is small, so it's hard to really get. But you see these river channels, and into obviously the Great Lakes over here. All right, but then I showed you the Missouri River, which travel way west. So if I can find the Missouri River on here, this is it's hard to tell. Maybe if I should have got the map. It was just it just shows you river channels, but it's hard to sometimes it's hard to pick up on these suckers. But I showed you the Mississippi, and here's the Missouri right over here. The Missouri. You see it, the Missouri River. Missouri River. And the Missouri River travels all the way west. Alright? So, like I said, they were able to use these river channels to travel in and out into different locations. Alright? They were able to use very different river channels to travel, and they built their cities right near large rivers, not far from large base of water. Like you see a lot of these large metropolitan cities today. Where Pittsburgh sits, I want to say, is it Lake Erie? Where Pittsburgh's at, where Pittsburgh sits, and obviously Lake Michigan here in Chicago. But that's where a lot of these mounds, these great monuments, were built by cities or in the coastal region or near large bodies of water or some form of body of water, because they was able to travel in and out and trade and to move about and fish and do various other things within the region of the U.S. All right, or which is now known as the U.S. All right, but the camera's going in and out of focus. So, but these very different river channels throughout this North America, which is able to connect to different river channels, where, like I said, you can move about freely within what we now know as the United States. But I want to show that because the color looks a little better, but it's also still hard because you got all these other different colors showing the highways and everything on this map. But I'm emphasizing, like I said, that's how they're able to travel. So it wasn't that feat wasn't impossible to do. Unfortunately, your Negro scholars are not going to teach you this, because they're just going to teach you, like I said over and over again, that you were a slave. And all they're doing is teach you a white domination, arrogance form of narrative. And they're just as bad. It makes it even worse because they have a black face doing it. But I want to turn to 130 in this book. This is my encyclopedia, the one from the 1990s. I want you to pick up on certain things, brothers and sisters. You got to pick up on it. All right? Now, there's certain things that are natural geological rock formations, but then there's other things you can tell that's been carved into. This is the Canyon de Chile, which is in northeastern Arizona. You can tell that was carved into, and there's a structure right up in there, all right, within the canyon. The Mali did that, and I compared the Mali with the the Aztecs. You also compare the Mali with the Incas, the Mandinka, Inca, the Mandinka, the Mandi Inca, the Mandi Inga, Inca. The Incas were the Mandi too. All right, I mean, this stuff is so obvious, man. And then here is the Grand Canyon, and despite what Negro sayers would tell you, the Grand Canyon was carved into. You know, you had the Temple of was it Ra, House of Set, House of Isis. They had various different names over the Grand Canyon area that was named after the ancient Egyptian gods and goddesses. But when you look at it closely, and I don't know if I can really pull off, you can tell that parts of it was carved into. So they had a great high level of, they had to have some form of deep knowledge of iron. They had iron, and they were great smelting iron, because there was a lot of stuff was carved into. I don't believe they used copper. I believe they used iron to do it. I also want to show you something else too. You got to pick up on. This is the Monument Valley. This is between the Arizona-Utah border. And what most of these historians will tell you, this is just some natural geological rock formation. If I get a better picture, you can go online and look at this, but you can tell a lot of stuff was carved into. You can tell, you can straight up tell that was carved into, man. That's not just no natural geological rock formation. That was carved into, man. Structures that was carved into thousands of years ago, man. And these fools not gonna sit there and tell you that our ancestors built great structures here in America. Most of you Negro scholars don't know, because they're going by the handbook that was given to them by white people. It was a Negro that came on my website, not my YouTube page before, stating that all the people that I was showing in Europe were nothing but Africans. And I didn't know what I was talking about. I said, no, those weren't no Africans. Yeah, they might originate in Africa, but you had like the Salutrians. They came from southern Africa. They worked themselves up through the river channels there, into the Great Lakes, into Europe, and they came to the Americas. White scholars try to portray them as white, but white people didn't exist when they were migrating not only out of Africa, but when they were in Europe and when they got to the Americas. Remember, white folks do not come from Europe. They come from Central Asia. More likely, a lot of those white folks are an amalgamated version of the Dravidian blacks out of India. But to go on to my point is that this Negro was just saying that they're just African, and is even though because they look black that they're African. And I said that if you're gonna use that logic, you might as well say that the white people are African too, because those people have been out of Africa for so damn long. They develop their own culture, develop their own way of life, and to just say that they're just African is wrong. All right, but they're black people. That's not up for debate. But what I'm showing you, I'm trying to emphasize to you that how much we've been lied to. I can try to get a better picture of this. So you can obviously tell this is rock that was carved into, man. This was carved into. Yeah, natural geological rock that was there, but it was carved into by ancient explorers and builders that were here in the Americas. So this is a Monument Valley at the Arizona-Utah border, and I have a book that deals with basically the natural monuments here in America. I'm gonna show you real quick about that. I'm gonna show you that book real quick, because this is good information for you to have to constantly do your research on. Ooh, dropping stuff. But here's the book. Okay, this is now. Okay, I want you to notice it. I'm sure get a higher picture. America's National Parks. The spectacular forces that shaped our treasured lands. And this is a national. This book talks about national treasures and our natural parks. But when you look at a lot of these natural parks, man, a lot of this stuff was just ancient structure that was carved into, not just geological structures, which many places are, but some of this stuff was carved into by man at an early time, and it freaks people out to understand that these little black people who carved this stuff up. See, I said little black people because probably the original black people over here were the little dwarfy type blacks. Then taller blacks followed them. But these black people did some great carving into rock structure globally. And this is something that it's not taught in school. And when you look at it, you got the trained eye. You can look at it and tell, man. You can look at it and tell that was carved. You can tell the difference from a natural geological structure and something that was carved into. So I'm going to teach you, brothers and sisters, this information. This is something you got to catch, man. I may try to pull off a bigger picture of this. You can go online, look for it. But when you look at it, you say, oh, man, that was carved into, man. That's too perfect. No geological formation is going to be that perfectly aligned, measurement-wise. That's just impossible. But this is some information I want to give you. I want to go back to that map because I want to get a more of a cleaner image of that map in color. But it's still hard to some degree to show you the full river channels. So I kind of went all over with this one. but okay, here I going back to the Mississippi. The Mississippi? Yeah, you go back to Mississippi. Yeah. Here we go, the Mississippi. And it travels. Follow the, they get that glare out of there. Okay, follow the Mississippi as it travels. Follow the Mississippi as it travels. And you have the Missouri that goes way over to the west. And Ohio it's over to the east. And that's the ways that they travel. And other river banks, like I mentioned. Tennessee River and all this stuff. The Colorado River. So that probably explain why you see monuments that obviously look carved, but how did the people get there? They travel by boat. They probably tie stuff to their boat to carry it, throughout the waterways as they travel within the water channel. So this is just some information I'm giving you. I'm going to try to do another video. I'm trying to find that book on the Etruscans. Some people use the term Etruscans. I pronounce it the Etruscans. But I'm going to try to find that book. Because I'm going to show you how these Negroes really look like. And despite of what white scholars and a lot of these Negro scholars do, those are unquestionably, like I said before, Negroid people, black people. So this is a color image, and I can't find the river channels real clear. I was able to just get the Mississippi. The Missouri, I couldn't really get too clear. Only got a little bit of it. Got a little bit of the Missouri. Okay, only got a little bit of that, but I got a little bit of the Missouri. A little bit of the Missouri River, but I can't really get it. How it shows how it goes into Montana and stuff. It goes west, and it's hard to see. But you just pull out a map, and you can just try to look at the little river channels, and you can tell how they're able to travel. So that's all I'm going to say for now. I got another video that one, like I said, I want to make on the Etruscans. But also, there's a lot of Islamic names that are here throughout the Americas, as well as obviously in Egypt, Timbuktu, and other names that relate to Mali. But they always give you some goofy explanation, claim that some group of white folks named it, or slave named it, that one really got me, man. But I want you to continue to do your research, and I'm going to continue to give sources so you can do this stuff on your own. That's it. Peace and love. Tomorrow's Memorial Day. Hopefully I can get another video out before that. Believe it or not, I'm going to sit there and try to watch some auto racing today, man. Some NASCAR, brother. All right, brothers and sisters. Peace.